One of Anthony Joshua's trainers says that Joshua is preparing to combat a whole host of techniques and tactics from Tyson Fury. The trainer in question is not Rob McCracken, but it's a guy called Joby Clayton. I don't know of this Joby Clayton character, but he said, "It's never too early to talk about basic game plans. We are laying the foundations in preparation for camp. My job is to prepare AJ to his best ability. I know that when AJ is AJ, he's a handful for anybody. The most important thing is that he focuses on himself. Fury is a very versatile athlete, so I'm personally focusing on AJ and what he brings to the table to combat a whole host of techniques and tactics that he might face. AJ is doing some wonderful work, training with a wonderful energy. This is a special time in his career. I'm excited to see what the next few months holds. I have a saying, coaches have to get boxers to train, but they have to get champions to rest. We have to make sure AJ rests at the appropriate times because he is so dedicated." Okay. I mean, that's reasonable. I've spoken many times in the past about overtraining, which is a very real thing. You don't want to overtrain. But who is this Joby Clayton guy? I don't think I've ever seen him or heard of him before. That doesn't mean he's not a good trainer. There's probably there's definitely a lot of good trainers out there who are undiscovered and they haven't come across the right talent yet to really show what they can do as a trainer. Perhaps he's one of those guys. It says here he works with Rob McCracken because, again, no disrespect to McCracken. I got no issues with him as a person or anything like that, but I don't really rate him as a trainer. I actually like that Spanish guy that they brought in for AJ for the Ruiz rematch. Is he still on board with AJ? That Spanish guy? I forget his name, no disrespect. But I liked the kind of stuff I heard from him in interviews, the changes I saw in the AJ rematch with Ruiz and so forth. That Spanish guy was an intriguing coach to me. This Joby Clayton, I don't know him. Rob McCracken, again, I don't really rate him. He's achieved a lot, of course, with Carl Froch and Anthony Joshua, but I don't think he's the guy to take AJ to the next level and to make the most out of AJ's ability. There isn't a one-size-fits-all trainer who's going to be good for everybody. Now, I know AJ is very loyal to McCracken, and he sees McCracken as a mentor, not just a boxing coach, but a mentor. That's all well and good. I get that. But when it comes to taking his game to the next level, I don't think McCracken's the guy for that. So maybe that Spanish guy is still in the camp. I hope he is, because he is, I think, a key individual. Hopefully they're still working together. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Perhaps you know Joby Clayton, and you can tell me a bit about him. I'm sure I could just do my due diligence and look it up on the Sky website or YouTube or something. But for now, I'll let you guys tell me what's what. And as far as preparing for lots of different tactics from Tyson Fury, yeah, Tyson Fury is either going to move or he's going to come forward or he's going to box southpaw. So there are several things you're going to have to watch out for. AJ showed in the Charles Martin fight that southpaws aren't necessarily a massive issue for him. He also fought several southpaws in the amateurs, and he did pretty well. So if Tyson Fury switches up, Anthony Joshua would have to switch up and adjust to the southpaw stance. Tyson Fury coming forward, I'm going to talk about that in a separate video. Tyson Fury moving backwards and moving around the ring, I think that's what will cause AJ the most issues. Because that's really where Tyson Fury can maximize his reach, because he's not going to be moving forward and walking in potentially to some of AJ's shots. If AJ manages to slip inside Fury's jab and hit him with something. If Tyson Fury decides to box and move, I think that's where he can make it the most difficult for Anthony Joshua. If you go back and watch AJ in his first fight that he had in the Olympics against Erislandy Savon, he got his head boxed off. I know Erislandy Savon is smaller, more nimble and lighter than Tyson Fury, but he's a slickster. And you saw what could be done by a slick fighter against a guy like AJ. You know, I know AJ's improved a lot since then, but there's certain things that you're always going to struggle with to some degree. There's certain styles that are going to be more of a problem to you than other styles. And I think a slickster could give AJ issues, even now, after all the improvements he's made. And I think the same for Tyson Fury, to be honest with you. A slickster could give him issues. And Tyson Fury himself, as I say, for a big man, he's certainly a slickster. And I think that's the best way for him to fight AJ. So if AJ is preparing for that too, he's surely got to be looking at, head movement, getting close. I know he's a big fan of Mike Tyson. Head movement, getting close, rip shots to the body, try and take the movement of Tyson Fury away, and so on. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below.